Pregame, yeah. Pull up to the pregame. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Pull up to the pregame, yeah. Pull up to the pregame. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Catch a vibe.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Pregame Podcast. We lit, we live, and while y'all at it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Vashti, how are you, my friend?
What's up?
Not much. How are you?
I'm here.
Are you here? I feel you. I feel you. Look, as always, we appreciate you for being here. You know what I'm saying? So applause to you. I'm excited to see you. It's been a minute. How are things in your world? I know busy, but if we can find another word outside of busy. How have things been?
No other word.
No
I'm
other words?
tired.
I hear you.
Yeah, I'm tired. So I just
Hey,
been.
how did I saw you posted about a panel that you did the other day. How did that go? Thought that was pretty dope. Diversity in
It was
sports.
yeah, yeah. It was fine. It was put on by Yondrick Corazon, and it
Yeah,
was in affiliation with They had a couple of sponsors, but it was cool.
that's what's up.
Yeah, I enjoyed meeting the other panelists. So it was fine. That was
That's what's up.
yesterday.
That's what's up. I got a chance to meet Yandrick maybe about a month or so ago. I'm on a board for a nonprofit here, and he's one of the supporters there, and so I met him there, and I've seen pictures of him because of like 704 shop and all of that, and just got a chance to interact with him for a little bit. He's a really good guy. So shout out to him, and shout out to you for being on the panel and doing your thing out here. You know, cool. So look, we got a lot of people in here already. Thank y'all for pulling up to the Pregame Podcast, your fusion of sports and pop culture. We talk about a little bit of everything, and we always gonna keep it 100. We always gonna start off with what you pulling up with. So we already know. Look, Vashti pulling up with being here. All right, she on fuel, but you know what? She always look. She gonna pull up. She tired, but she always pulls up, and we appreciate her consistency for the Pregame Podcast. So if you're new here, basically what we mean by pulling up doesn't mean that you have to bring anything tangible. Like if you're going to an actual pregame, we just want to see how your week was and see what you've been up to, what kind of vibe you pulling up, what kind of mood you pulling up with. So make sure y'all drop that in the chat to let me know and let Vashti know what you're pulling up with. Shop will be here at 8:30. He just messaged us. I think he had a few things to do, so he'll be here a little bit later on. What I'm pulling up with, energy, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to be here this week. It's a lot to talk about. We're gonna have some fun, and it's just I love doing this. I love being on the podcast and talking with you all. So it's gonna be a good time. So that's what I'm pulling up with. Some excitement, some energy. We're gonna have some fun today. Um, Vasha, I got some things for us to react to. I gotta find another Isaiah Falls song because y'all just killed my guy last time y'all was on the podcast. So I gotta find another song. But I want to start off with someone else. And usually I don't give context when I do the pregame reacts, but I gotta give context for this one just to explain everything. But before we do, I do want to walk through the agenda real quick to let people know what we're talking about so people can get their thoughts and stuff together. So we're gonna talk about a little bit of the NBA. Want to hear about I think it's a lot of disdain around like the Thunder and the Pacers potentially being the finals two teams, final contenders. So we're gonna talk about that and why SGA and why Halliburton don't get the credit they deserve. And then we talk some NFL stuff as well. So some Panthers OTAs things, what you saw out there, what I'm thinking. Should I be drinking the Kool-Aid now or not, Vashti? We talk about the Jalen Ramsey situation. There's a lot going on around Jalen Ramsey, and a lot of Panther fans are getting up in arms, thinking that we may have an opportunity. So we will talk a little bit about that. And then if y'all have not seen the Stephon Diggs stuff recently, we're going to talk a little bit about Stephon Diggs and what's going on with his situation. And then I want to talk about something that I thought was very interesting. And that's 30 out of 32 players in the second round who were drafted in the second round have not signed their contracts. We're going to talk about that, the reasons why we think it is, and if this is the new trend that we'll see moving forward. We'll talk some pop culture stuff as well. As always, if you have any questions for us, your statements, your thoughts, make sure you drop those in the chat. Come rock with us. And yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about. So the first thing I want to do is I got to give context to this particular reaction video. And it's Genuine, right? And so Genuine has, he's been, if y'all know, like if y'all are a little older, y'all know who Genuine is. Y'all heard his music, but he has been in the media for the last couple years for goofy things. Let's just say that. And he had a concert recently and he decided to do his own like little rendition of a Chris Brown song, Residuals, right? Residuals, if you don't know that song, it's a fire song. Um, and we're gonna watch it, and then I want your thoughts on it. I'm not sure if you've seen this video, Vashti. If you haven't, even better. But we're gonna check out this video real quick.
Can we build it up? Build it up. Just you and
So here's my question around this. First off, he sounds absolutely horrible. He doesn't know the lyrics. He doesn't know the words. And like this comment says, like, mind you, Chris is still alive. Like, usually when people do renditions of songs, it's because something has possibly happened to that person. For instance, when a lot of someone has passed away. I've seen like Usher and all these other artists go on stage and sing one of their songs to show support. But nothing happened to Chris Brown except for him getting locked up. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that he did this, but my question for you is like, why can't either like older artists or even just legends, why can't some of them just like bow out gracefully? You know what I'm saying? Like Genuine had his time and I know he's still trying to make money, but then you do stuff like this and it's like really? Like why can't people just really sometimes like bow out gracefully and just be like, you know what? I've been in the media for a lot of goofiness lately. I done fell off the stage multiple times and now I'm singing it and I'm sounding horrible and I'm getting laughed at. And some people say all press is good press. I don't know about that, but what are your thoughts on just hearing this craziness?
Um, I'm not offended by him doing a rendition of Chris Brown's song. Beyonce did Boots on the Ground. Like artists will do certain things to um give variety to their live shows. So, I mean, if he's trying to appeal to a younger audience or even his current audience, singing a song by actually think it might be more of a sign of respect out of anything than just like a diss. Um, but as far as bowing out gracefully, like, bro, they gotta make money. So whether they up there sounding bad or not, like they have to tour so they can eat. And
Mhm.
if you don't eat tour, you don't eat. I mean, I don't know what he's getting off of royalties, but like I mean, it is what it is, and people are there. So it ain't no bowing out gracefully when you're an artist because one, you have to stay relevant so you can tour, and you
Hmm.
tour so that you can eat.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I'm shocked that you put Beyonce and Genuine in the same sentence.
I'm giving an example of, but yeah, I did. I'm not, it wasn't a comparison. I'm saying Beyonce did the boots on the
Oh yeah.
ground. She's done other songs in her live performances. I don't understand the whole Chris Brown is still alive. That doesn't mean anything. It's actually a sign, to me, it's a sign of respect.
No, and I completely agree with you on there. First off, I didn't write the "Mind You, Chris is still alive." That was on the
I
video I
know.
pulled.
But
Um,
you did say people usually do this stuff as a
people
tribute.
Yeah, I think the way that his interact, like the way he's like breathing and like feeling, it seems like he was really into the song, even though he didn't know the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Usually, I've seen a lot of artists do renditions, right? If a song is very very popular, and I'm not sure how old this video is, but Residuals is a very popular song. My biggest thing is like if you're going to do a rendition, whether you are an old artist or whether you're a young artist, my hope is that you know the lyrics. And the cool thing about like what Beyonce has done with Boots on the Ground is like she's added her own little twist to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just like taking a song and just singing it just because it's the most popular song right now, but you add your own little twist to it. You add a little mix in there. Like Beyonce has done that with a lot of different songs. She did that with OT Genesis, Cut It, before all of
Right?
that. But with this, like I don't know. It just to me it didn't feel. I think it was a matter of respect. I mean, he even said in the thing like, "I love Chris Brown." Like he literally said that,
Yeah.
and I get that. Like, cool. I understand that you love Chris Brown, but at least if you love Chris Brown, can you love Chris Brown's lyrics too? Can you know the lyrics and sing it right? Like, I don't know. It just to me it didn't give off like I'm doing this out of like I'm doing this out of respect, but it was like I'm struggling and I'm really just trying to keep the crowd hyped because I only got a few more songs and I got a whole 30 minutes left. I don't know. It just didn't feel right to me. It didn't look right. And I don't know. Sometimes you just got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, in my opinion. And you're right. You're absolutely right, Vashti. People got to eat. And if we don't know his royalty situation, and most like as artists, you make the most money off of tours. Like when you're touring, that's how you're making your money. And I get it, man. I'm not knocking his hustle, but good night. I don't know. That
It
was a rough
sounds
one.
like you knocking his hustle.
Well, I'm not knocking your hustle. Look, I'm not genuine. I ain't got no songs, all that, this and that third. But my biggest thing is like I'm not knocking your hustle, but I am critiquing it. Like if you're gonna do it right. You know what I'm saying? Like do it justice. Like give it a chance. Like know the words. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. It just seemed rough. Like if you, I don't know if it was like to me, this would have looked like Vashti. It looks like you were in the tour bus and one of your homeboys said, "Yo, this residual song is fire. You need this residual song. All right, cool. Let me hear it. Hear me hear. It. Oh, this dope. I'm gonna do it tonight." Instead of like, okay, let me put something together to really give it justice. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it felt like to me. And I'm just like, look, just if you're gonna do it right. Especially with Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like Chris Brown is a huge artist, can sing his butt off, a heck of an entertainer, and people are gonna watch it. I don't know. That's how I looked at it. But teach his own, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to knock his hustle. I'm just critiquing it as a person sitting on the sideline. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. Um, any other thoughts before we move on to the next thing?
No,
What you laughing at?
I'm not.
Oh. All right. So the next one I want to talk about was Joe Flacco, or Flacco, excuse me. He said some things around recently. I think it might have been this week during OTAs, but he said a few things around the stance of older quarterbacks or veteran quarterbacks, if you will, being in this mentor role versus not being a mentor role. And he was probably one of the first quarterbacks I've seen recently that broke it down the way he did. So I want to watch this real quick and then have a brief discussion.
It's a talking point. You can kind of like use it like because it's a good question to bait somebody into answering, and no matter how they answer it, it kind of makes the guy that's answering it look bad. If I say I don't want to be a mentor, I look bad. If I say I do want to be a mentor, then I look like an idiot that doesn't care about being good and playing football. So it's one of those questions that no matter what I say, you guys can write what you want to write about it. and there's a lot of questions like that. That's why you end up having to try to avoid them. I tend to try to be honest, and I've said I'm not a mentor. I play football. And in a quarterback room, there's a lot of times there's been a ton of times where there's learning experiences, and I have a lot of experience, and I can talk on things, and hopefully they listen. But it's not necessarily like my job to like make sure they listen to me. And hey, like hopefully you have a really good relationship with the guys that are in the room, and you naturally want to do that, But that's. Yeah, that was a long-winded answer, but that's ultimately why I think you guys ask it, Here's the thing is, like, because of what I just said, like, you're acting like I wouldn't want to be a mentor. It's like, once again, it's not really about that. It's just not the main focus. I see myself as a guy that can play in this league. So if your main focus was just like, hey, but I'm going to get you ready, you're just not taking care of business. The best way to be a mentor, honestly, is, like, show people how you go to work, and like I said, hope that they pick up on that stuff, but not necessarily force them to pick up on the things that you do.
Very interesting comments. Before we continue, a few different things. My guy Nakari is in the building. Why is that so big? What in the world? My boy Nakari is in the building. Shout out. He said he finally made it to a live. We appreciate you pulling up, man. Yeah, I definitely said Flacco. So ASAP Joe Flacco is hilarious. But question, do you agree with his statement in terms of, hey, like, I'm not going to sit there and say that I want to be a mentor, because at the end of the day, I'm still trying to play. And if I say a mentor, then the media is going to twist it and say, oh, he already just, rolling over and he's concedes defeat. But if I say I don't want to be mentored, then you're going to say that he's not a good leader and he's going to jeopardize X players' chance to be a starter. What are your thoughts hearing that statement?
I mean, he's right. It's one of those tough questions because as a competitor, it's not his job to teach younger quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
That literally is not his job. That's why you have coaches. And so if when you brought him in, you discussed this as being his role and he agreed to it, all right, fine. But if you brought him in to compete, that's not his job. It's not his job, and he shouldn't feel obligated to take on that role. And he did make a good point. Like, if I've been in the league X amount of years and
Mm-hmm.
I've had whatever all the accomplishments, you can try to emulate and look at what I do, but it's not my job to take you under my wing. No, for what? You
Facts.
got to get it out the mud like I did. This is not like you're not my son.
Facts. Hey, everything you just said, I completely agree with. At the end of the day, like you said, these are competitors at the highest level. And when I signed that contract, I'm signing the contract to be a starter. Like, everyone has to have that I'm going to be the starter mentality. That's how you make everybody on the team better, and that's how you make yourself better, having that mindset of I'm here to win that role. Now, granted, if you um don't win the role, then that's okay. I'm gonna do what I can to be the best teammate I could be, and I'll be ready for when the opportunity presents itself. Right. Same thing we saw with Andy Dalton. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he was going to help Bryce and everything, but Andy wanted to play. Like, he wanted to play, and when he played, he balled out when he had the chance and the real Andy Dalton started to show. Right. But that's a whole nother conversation. Now he came back this year. He came back knowing, okay, I'm here to help Bryce. But at the same time, do you think it still eats up? And Andy wants to play. Like, Andy wants to play. And so that's why I played this video, because I saw it and I was like, yo, I completely agree with everything he's talking about. And it brings me to another conversation or another situation that I've seen recently with Will Levis from Tennessee Titans. Joe Flacco sitting here saying, like, hey, look, I'm not gonna say I want to win. I want to play. I'm not gonna sit there and say I'm mentored. They can listen to me or not. It's on them. But Will Levis is in this situation where he's like, the situation I'm in sucks and it is what it is, and I'm just gonna try to make the best out of it. Instead of like having that fighter mentality of like, hey, I'm gonna do whatever I can to win the role. And granted, yes, Joe Flacco is a veteran and Will Levis is going into his third year. But I think it's all about, like you said, Vashti, the mentality of wanting to be a true competitor and knowing that even if your back is against the wall, you're gonna do whatever it takes to win and give it your all. And it seems like right now it's just OTAs, and Will Levis gave up. Or he just like, it sucks. It is what it is. I'm just gonna do what I can. Do you think that it's a my question to you with all that I just said is, do you agree that it's a experience thing with Flacco of like, hey, I'm going for that role. I'm not gonna be a mentor versus what Will Levis is doing at year 3? Or do you think it's just a mindset thing is like, I don't care what year I'm in or whatever, I'm a dog. I know I'm a dog and I'm gonna do whatever I can to win that starting role.
I don't think Levis gave up. The situation does suck. What else
Okay.
can he say? I respect real. I
Yeah.
mean, and the team that you just got drafted to a few years ago went and used the number one pick on another quarterback. So now you're out, likely,
Mm-hmm.
or relegated to a backup role, and that's what it is. And it sucks. What else? Like, I'm not mad at that. I don't think he gave up. The writing is on the wall. What you want me to say? They gonna bench the number one overall pick for me, and I wasn't even that great to begin with. No, they're not gonna do that. So I don't think he gave up, but he kept it real. Like, I'm gonna make the best out of this situation,
Mm-hmm.
whether I'm going to try to latch on to another QB needy team, whether I'm gonna, play this role of backup and maybe have to come in case of injury. Like, I think that I respect the honesty of both guys.
Okay.
Put it like that.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I respect that. For me, I think granted, I know, like I think everybody knows that it's Cam Ward's job to lose at this point in time. I think for me, just I read, and maybe I shouldn't do this right now, but I read body language in terms of how he answered it, what he said, and all of those different things. And to me, it seems like he was like, "It is what it is." Like he was like, "If they trade me, they trade me. It is what it is." And for me, I'm like, "Yo, like at least try." You know what I'm saying? Like I understand that you had a first
He
year
didn't
coach
say
in
he
Brian
wasn't gonna
Callahan.
try.
Yeah, but he didn't say that he was going to try
He didn't
either,
say he
though,
wasn't gonna
Vesta.
try.
He didn't say he was. That's my
I
biggest
mean,
thing.
what are you supposed to? I'm gonna work hard to get this number one, bruh. No, like what? What should he say?
I think I've seen a
I'm
lot of
gonna
different.
compete. I want to be the starter. I'm good enough to be the starter. That's what he should say.
I mean, then he lying. Then he ain't being real if he say I'm good enough to be the starter. But
Exactly.
here's my biggest thing, though.
Exactly.
Here's my point on this. If I'm Will Levis, you know what I'm saying, or if I'm a Tennessee Titans fan, what I'm looking for is someone to be like, "Hey, I know they brought somebody in. I'm here to compete. I'm here to make us all better. I'm gonna do whatever I can to show that I'm like." I'm like, okay, yeah, he's trying. At least he's trying. Instead of like, it sucks. Woe is me. Brian Callahan has worked on. He's changing some coaching things from last year. He was a first year coach last year, and da da da. Like, I get all that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, hey, if you know somebody is coming in to take food off your plate, at least try your best to, hey, I'm going to compete and make us all better. This and that. I'm like, okay, Will Levis, you're trying. You're not going to make it, but you're trying. That's all I'm saying. It's just a difference. And I don't know if it's like
I'm gonna compete to make us all better. I'm sure he doesn't have any choice but to do that, but he don't have to say it. I respect it. I'm
okay,
sorry. As somebody who hears the same stuff over and over again,
yeah,
hearing that type of brutal honesty is a breath of fresh air.
mm, okay. So you think why do you say that? Just from like
Because
a
he kept it real. He kept it real. He couldn't keep it. It sucks. I gotta make the best out of this situation. That sucks. For
yeah,
me personally.
mm-hmm,
That's it. It sucks for me personally. I'm not that guy. I want to be that guy. It sucks. I'm just gonna make the best out of this situation. That sucks for me. That
mm-hmm.
whole, oh, I'm gonna compete. I'm gonna do whatever I can to make the team better. That sounds good.
So
That's not the
so
reality of the situation.
so you feel like if somebody says that they're not being real or they're not being truthful in that situation? Or
They could
it
be
depends on who
truthful.
it is, who says it.
I'm saying Will Levis was honest in his comments. And I'm not gonna knock him for being brutally honest.
For sure.
It's refreshing to me. Like, and he could have toted that line and said all of that,
Yeah.
but that's not how he feels. So tell us how you feel.
Okay.
I respect it.
For sure. And okay. I think at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. I think like whether they keep him, whether they don't, I have no idea. Good luck to them. But Nakari is hilarious. He said Flocky got 5 kids. He trying to he trying to get those local starter endorsements. I'm weak. He definitely got a lot of kids. And look, bro, he might start. Joe Flacco might start, and then they'll bring in one of the other young quarterbacks later on. But I thought it was just very interesting in terms of the different language that they said. And granted, like words are only a bit of it. You got to act on it, right? So we'll see what happens. But I thought it was interesting and worth a debate about. So much appreciated there. All right, so let's get into some other content. Let's start off with the finals. So right now we're looking at potentially, because the Pacers ain't closed it yet, but the Thunder have made their way to the NBA Finals. Um, and NEA Pacers are up 3-1, up 2, excuse me, 3-1 on the New York Knicks. What are your thoughts? I talked about this last week, Vashti, around why Halliburton doesn't get the credit he deserves. It's a lot of like, hey, people for some reason don't like Tyrese by any means. And I said that he, to me, the way that people treat him, not the way he plays, the way people treat him, they act like he is the Russell Wilson of the NBA. And what I mean by that is just that corny word that people love to use around Russell Wilson is how they treat Tyrese, right? But his game speaks for itself. And he is a certified baller. What are your thoughts on? I've seen a lot of people on social media saying Thunder and the Pacers are going to be such a boring finals. Why those two teams? Blah 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 blah. Do you agree with the thought of like it possibly being a boring finals, or are you excited to see two different teams, two young players fight for their first championships?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a casual NBA fan.
For sure. Okay.
So I have been watching the finals. To me, these guys don't have star power, and I think that that's why people aren't really gravitating toward them. Um, Gilgeous Alexander, the foul baiting, I'm not really with that a lot. Halliburton just gives, I don't know, Halliburton gives corny vibes. And
That's what
so,
everybody's.
but, but he does. I don't know if you saw the video where they compared him and Steve Urkel. It was really
Yeah.
spot on.
Yo,
So,
Vashta, you gotta chill. I
but
did see that.
what I'm saying is these guys aren't guys that people like, as far as young up and coming guys in the NBA. Nobody is really checking for these dudes. Now, now that these teams are going to be in the finals potentially, but I still don't think the star power is there. Um yeah, I don't think the star power is there. Um a guy like Anthony Edwards has star power.
Mhm.
Like he's an exciting player to watch.
Mhm.
He pops his stuff. I don't the foul baiting. I don't see it necessarily. Like I don't the way that the game has evolved into doing that and getting a ton of points at the free throw line. I just don't. I don't like that. I don't.
Mhm.
I don't. I'm not a fan of that. And so if that's how you're getting half of your points as a player, like I'm not rocking with it personally.
Yeah.
So, and then these are also smaller market teams with no stars on it. Like, it's just one of those finals where it's like, okay, like, I mean, all right.
Yeah, I think for me, I feel a little different. Hold on. Shots in the building. I'm gonna bring him in real quick. Uh there we go. What's good, Shot? He might not be able to hear us
What
yet.
up? What up?
What's good, man? How are you?
Yep, I can hear you.
Good, good.
What's good, man? I'm happy to be here.
Feel you, bro. It felt like it's been a minute. I know you've been on dad duties recently, so appreciate you pulling up, bro.
Yep.
So we talking
Mm-hmm.
about the finals and how much it's been a polarizing finals matchup. A lot of people have been saying that this is going to be weak, will be one of the most boring finals, and so we're talking through it. And Vasha just talked it through her statement around like one, it being small market teams, two, That both teams don't have really that star power like other teams do, or don't have that star player like a Anthony Edwards or whatnot. So, any thoughts on what you think about that? Do you agree with it possibly being a boring finals with the Thunder or the Pacers? Are you excited about it? What are your thoughts on it?
No, I'm excited about it personally. I like the different teams. I'm tired of seeing the same teams in the NBA finals. For me, it's more interesting, right? You got no super teams. You got two, like Vashti said, two small market teams going at it. I like it personally. I think it'd be different. I'm tuned in. I'm locked into the Pacers Knicks. I think it's prime time TV. All the games have been great, and this is coming from somebody that doesn't really watch NBA like that because I think it's boring and a little bit overrated. I mean,
Mhm.
so I'm cool with it. I like
Yeah.
this.
And I said this last week on the pod. I was like, look, I don't really watch the NBA during the regular season. Because I think, like you said, like to me, the competitiveness is not there. But this playoffs from round one to where we are now, each game has been, well, not each game. Most of the games have been very, very exciting. And I think this is going to be a lot different for a lot of fans, whether you are a huge fan or whether you're a casual fan, to be able to see two good teams outside of just having that one elite star player. You're seeing two teams who are well rounded on offense and defense, right? So you're talking about, SGA, who was the MVP this year. I think these are two promising players who are going to go into that stardom. They may not be what you call a star player right now, but they were, call it, top 15 players throughout the entire season this year. And so I'm excited to see those two battle. And then also like some of the role players that they have, like they are both really good defensive teams. So I think it's going to be a really good matchup. Honestly, it's not going to be that, like you see in the past where it's like Kobe versus this person, LeBron versus this person. It's not going to be that type of player. It's going to be literally team versus team. So I think it's going to be hopefully just some good basketball played. Do you agree? So I said something last week. Do you agree with this, Shad? There's been a lot of like talk around Tyrese, and a lot of people don't like him because of whatever. And I said that he is like not from a player standpoint, but just from like a personal who he is and how he acts and all those different things. I said they treat him like he's the Russell Wilson of the NBA because everybody called Russell Wilson a cornball for what he did, not just what he did on the field, but what just who he was and everything. And it seems like Tyrese is getting that same kind of feel. Do you agree? Yes or no?
You talking about Halliburton?
Yeah.
I mean, nah. I wouldn't. I don't know, bro. I think he's. I mean, again, I'm not gonna sit up here and say I'm tuned into these guys like that. Halliburton is rather new to me. Again, he's not a superstar like you mentioned, so I don't really know it. I don't really know him like that, to be honest with
Mm-hmm.
you, to make that assessment. I do rock with SGA. Shout out to shout out to another Hornet. Kind of traded away. You know what I mean? It is we
Crazy.
keep missing. We keep missing, but I don't know. I don't know Halliburton like that, to be honest with you, to make that assessment.
Yeah, he was traded. Halliburton was traded too. He used to be a Sacramento King
Right,
and got
correct.
traded.
I did
So
know that.
yeah. Speaking of stuff, not noticing things. Did you notice Stephon Diggs recently? So if you did not notice or did not see this, it was been all over the news, and I had to be very. I did not want to show any videos of everything because you're not going to get me caught up in anything. So I had to find a picture that didn't show anything. But basically, Stephon Diggs, new New England wide receiver. He has been dating for the last couple months Cardi B, and they were on a boat with a whole bunch of people. And he was in this video talking to these women, and he gave them some type of substance, right? And it was in the bag. We don't know what the substance was. All we know that it was pink, and it went viral. And a lot of people, it just went like TMZ caught it, like everybody. And so, of course, during the first day of OTAs, they asked Mike Vrabel about it. And he said, yes, we saw the video. Yes, we've been in conversation with Stephon. Stephon Diggs was not at OTAs that day. But he was like, yeah, we're in conversation with all of that with him. Do you think that there'll be potential repercussions on this? And what are your thoughts behind this video actually going public? And if you let's start off with Vashti and then Shad, and then I'll go.
I mean, unless they can prove what the substance is, I don't know what. I mean, you gotta prove stuff. I don't know. I don't do drugs. Okay, I had to actually look up what it could be.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, there's such thing as pink cocaine or something like that. I have no idea what it is, but if I'm Stefan, you gonna have to prove what I gave these girls. Either way, if you on a boat, if you having a boats and hoes day, like put the cameras up. Like it's
Thank
not necessary to film this.
thank
Like
you.
that's my thing. Like
Thank you.
why is all of this being filmed? And why isn't Stefan like, bruh, put the
Put the
cameras up.
camera.
We can
Thank
have
you.
fun without like we ain't gotta see all the twerking and all that stuff. Like, put the camera up. We are people with stuff to lose. Like
Thank
everybody
you.
doesn't have to see what you do in your personal life. Like that was it was unnecessary for us to see this. It was
Amen.
unnecessary.
Amen. Shai, what do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I don't want to repeat everything that was said, but yeah, put the cameras up. I mean, do you have a blast? I wouldn't call him and Cardi B dating. I don't know what they're
I
doing.
don't know what.
They're
Yeah,
having
having fun.
entanglement. I don't know what it is. They're doing what they do, but none of it should be my business. I don't care. Could care less about what they're doing out there. Again, put the cameras up, and who really cares? Shout out to the Patriots, though.
Here's my only. And you were gonna take exactly what I was gonna say, Vashti. I think the person that deserves the most, I guess. Well, I'm gonna say the person deserves the most. I'll take that back. But I think you have to make sure your circle is tight when you having situations like when you having parties or whatnot. Like you got to understand that people love having the phones out, and so whoever recorded this, and they recorded it like right there. So he was talking to the girls and was like, "Yo, take this, come back and see me, this, that, and the third." So we hear all of that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it was a girl, I don't know if it was a guy, but there has to be some conversation of like, "Hey, look, we're out here to have fun. Like, put your phones up, this, that, and the third. Like, don't D'Angelo Russell me. Like, just literally put the phones up and have a good time." And so I think just being mindful of who's in your circle, who you hanging out with, and just knowing your surroundings. And then also for like Cardi and Stefan Diggs, you gotta understand your platform and what you have to lose in those situations. And so before you do something like that to show off and say, look what I got you and everything, just be mindful of your surroundings. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's how I feel about that particular piece. But I don't know what's gonna happen. Good luck to the Patriots and Stefan on that piece, but I completely agree with everything y'all said. I want to get into some pop culture things. I'm not sure you probably didn't see this, but Kai Cenat, I want to talk about this because I thought it was so dope. But Kai Cenat, who is a Twitch streamer, did something that nobody's ever did. I thought it was a dope idea, but he hosted something at the University of Akron called Streamer University, where he spent over $500,000 to bring in streamers, Twitch streamers, big and small. They had to apply, put in the application, put in this interview and everything. He brought them all here for 3 to 4 days and basically had professors taught them the game, taught them how to make money, taught them how to get brands, all those different things. And everybody was able to stream there and it went crazy. Like some of the numbers and the amount of money that they are able to make during these 4 days at University of Akron was absolutely incredible. I thought it was a very, very good dope. No problem. Let me put you out real quick. Hold on one second. I got you. All right, hold on. Dang, wrong person. There we go. I'll do that for right now. Vash, I had to go get some water. So yeah, so they did that for 3 days or whatever. But the cool thing about it, he talked about on one of his stream shot. He was like, "Look, he turned down huge deals from Amazon Prime to Netflix. Like all these different big companies were trying to get Streamer University on their platform, and he said no. He wanted to do it on Twitch because at the end of the day, their Twitch platform is how they make money. It's basically their brand, their business." I want to know, like, do you agree? First off, did you hear about this Stream University thing? What do you think about it? And do you agree with the move of him keeping it on Twitch and not going with these big brands where he could have made a lot of money on the back end, on the front end, excuse me?
Hey, listen, man. I might be a OG or Unc, whatever you want to call me, but I was absolutely
Hey,
tapped in to Streaming
tuned
University.
in, bro.
Yeah, I was tapped in, bro. Shout out to Yana. I think Yana, I think was one of my favorite streamers. I knew nothing about her until Streaming University. I think she's dope.
Yeah.
There's a couple other smaller streamers that I don't really watch them. I'm not saying that I'm tapped into them as streamers, but their personalities and seeing some of the clips that are going around is super dope. And
Yeah.
this whole concept is fire, bro. Like for him to do that and teach these smaller streamers how to get their bags up. And shout out to Agent, because
Bruh. What?
some of the clips that he's bro, I'm taking notes, bro. I'm
Yo.
locked in. As a creator, I'm sitting here like, yo, this is dope. And what he's dropping, the knowledge he's dropping is super fire. So this whole thing is dope. And shout out to Kai, because it's all about ownership, right? When you talk
Yes.
about selling it to Netflix and all these other, of course they're gonna, because they see when
Mm-hmm.
when you have the big wigs calling you, that means you're doing something right, and you should keep that what you just created was an asset. So for him
Yes.
to keep the IP and get Streamer University, get it all copyrighted and all that stuff, it's all genius marketing. And so shout out to everybody around Kai. I think Kai is
Bruh.
absolutely
He's out of
he's
here.
doing a great job,
He's
bro.
out of
He's
here,
out of here,
bro.
bro.
He's out of here.
I think I was watching I was watching a clip from Academics, and Academics was saying that Kai might be the first billionaire streamer with the way things are going with Streaming University. And so everything Kai is doing right now, he's doing a great job.
And
So I can't question nothing he's doing, bro.
not at all, bro. And he's such a good guy. Like, you want him to
He
win because
is.
he's such a nice guy. Bro, I ain't gonna hold you. Watching that, I was like, yo, do I want to start a stream? Like, I thought about it, bro, because like hearing some of the things that they were saying, bro, I was like, yo, like it'd be dope. But I'm just too old, bro. Like some of the stuff that
Yeah,
they be doing.
so here's the deal though. Like for me, like the way I took it is like, yo, there's things that I can incorporate. I'm a
Yeah,
podcaster. I don't stream per se, but
yeah,
I do live podcasts, and we stream. This is a stream, right?
right.
So some of the concepts that you can pull in from what they were talking about with the
Mm-hmm.
brands and the IRL stuff. I had no idea about IRL streaming. So for me, like now I'm looking at a game day experience, right?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
can do some of the IRL. So it was dope. Like my brain started churning as I was watching this, and I'm like, this is fire. Like
It's
this is
crazy,
dope.
bro.
And salute to Kai, man. It's all good stuff, man. I was tapped in. Even some of the clips, I'm still watching some of the clips, and I don't
Yeah.
get down with a lot of the stuff. Like
I mean,
there's some
yeah,
stuff that I completely don't
yeah,
agree with,
yeah,
and some of the YouTubers I don't know nothing about, nor do I care about. But I do like what's his name? Talil.
yeah.
Like
Ty Lil,
great
yeah,
great kid. Yeah, super dope. I knew nothing about him until Stream University. Dope dude. He was sharing all of his content and kind of picking up some of the smaller streamers.
yeah,
I thought that was dope. So some of the stuff was out of my league, not marketed towards me, but I definitely picked up a lot of good moves
for sure, bro.
from
I didn't
Stream
know you was
University.
tapped in, bro.
I'm tapped in, bro. TikTok. My kids say the same thing, bro. They like, how you know about, bro? I'm locked in, bro. I
I
be on
respect
TikTok.
it, bro.
I'm trying to get my TikTok game up. I've been posting on
Yeah,
TikTok a
I
lot
need to
more.
do that
So
too.
yeah,
Well,
I'm
we
trying
gotta
to,
chop it up, bro. I didn't know. I
bro.
had some. I
As
had
the
some
bro,
ideas.
fam, as a content creator, I have to be right.
That's real.
This is stuff that when I started 5-6 years ago, none of this stuff existed. You know what I mean?
That's
I'm
real.
just live pulling up the camera and just going live on YouTube. But if you want to compete and you want to stay relevant, you got to be tapped in, bro. So,
That's real.
as one of the larger YouTubers for the Panthers, like I feel like some of the stuff is relevant, so I gotta stay tapped in, bro.
For sure. And you gotta find ways to stay on top. You gotta keep on innovating
Yeah,
yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like find ways to continue. Like, because I think one thing I always say too is like people are always going, and I've seen this with a lot of different like streamers and all that stuff. Like people, you do one thing and people find out that's the wave and they catch on. So what can you do to
yeah.
continue to level up and find the next wave and find the next wave? And so
Bro, that's
yeah,
been the story. That's been the story of me potting, right? I've done a lot of things that were new, considered
hmm,
new at the time, and then
yeah,
people jump on, and I respect it, bro. I
yeah,
don't hate, I'm not hating for people, copying the swag, but that's what happens. It's the reality of the business, and then as you got to pivot, though, you gotta pick it up and keep it moving. So this is dope. That's why my ears are to the streets.
for sure. It's not sources, it's streets for sure. Uh,
Facts.
Cool. All right, so let's go on to another situation here, and that is Jalen Ramsey. So it's been a lot of talk around Jalen Ramsey. Post June, first cuts are happening on June 1st, of course. And there's already been talks around Jalen Ramsey being traded, right? And now recently he's been tweeting and on social media basically saying like, hey, a new chapter awaits. I'm going to be gone and it may not be the same team that y'all think it is. It's that and the third. And of course, like in any Panthers fan, they're like, he's coming to the Panthers. He's coming to the Panthers. What are your thoughts on Jalen Ramsey potentially coming to the Panthers? Do you think he's a good fit? Do you even think it's a possibility that he could potentially come? We know that Evero has gone. He was at some particular conference or something talking about him, and Jalen Ramsey retweeted it saying Coach E is one of the best coaches he's ever had, and he's going to be a head coach soon. Do you think that it's a possibility, or you're like, hey, I'm not even getting my hopes up? Let's start with Vashti. You're muted.
I don't really get into the speculation until it really happens.
Respect.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I saw Panthers fans, some of them wanted him to come, some of them weren't a fan of him
Yeah.
coming. So yeah, yeah,
Question.
that's where I'm at with it.
Okay, so question for you before I go to shot. As I know, like as a reporter for the Panthers, would you consider yourself a fan of the team? Like, would you
Great
consider yourself
question.
a fan of the team, or do you consider yourself like, hey, I work for the people and I'm here in North Carolina and I cover the Panthers? I'm curious.
As a journalist, you're never supposed to, by trade, you're
Okay.
not supposed to be a fan of the team. Because the assumption is that if you are a fan of the team that you're reporting for, you cannot speak
Without bias.
objectively about the team that you're covering. Right. So, but now you see in media where people are openly fans of the team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say whether I am one way or the other.
Yeah.
Just know that I've been following the Panthers for a very long time. This is not new. Ever since I came to Charlotte for college, I've been immersed in this culture.
Yeah.
So take that as you wish.
For sure.
And the home team being good is always good for business. But
Facts.
Amen to
whether
that.
whether I'm a fan or not, I won't say.
No, it's all
But
good.
people can speculate.
If you know, you know. We got some other reporters out there we could tell aren't fans because of the questions they ask. I'm not. They will remain nameless. But Shot, what do you think about Jalen Ramsey, bro?
Hey man, if you have the opportunity to get him, I say you go out there and you try to make it happen. Now, do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. But I do like the fact that the discussions, the tea leaves are out there. And again, this Panther Nation. This is how we rock. Any little speck of tea, we taking that and we making a whole cup. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So shout out to Darren Bates, special teams coach. He was out there dropping a little bit of nuggets, and everybody took it and ran with it. And he said, "Slow down." He said, "Slow down, y'all. That's not what I was talking about." But this is what we do as Panther Nation. We get excited. We attach ourselves to every single free agent that's out there. Would I like for it to happen? Listen, is he better than our current CB2? Yes. I don't care how old he is. He's still a valuable
He ain't
player.
that old.
And if you have the opportunity, he's getting older, and he's not as good as he used to be, but he's still better than everybody except for JC, right? So let's if you have an opportunity to go out there and get him, then you go out there and get him. And I don't know why Panthers fans all of a sudden become so righteous I don't want him. He's not good. What are we talking about, right? He's still better than
Come on now.
everybody but JC. If you have the opportunity to get him, you go out there and get him. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, but I'm still would be excited if it did happen.
Hey, man, say man, look, y'all called me out for not having the Kool-Aid last time. Look,
Man, sip the Kool-Aid,
bro. It's over there. Trust me, it's already. I got all the ingredients out. We ready. You know what I'm saying? Like I am in the land of the Lulu, and I'm saying it's gonna happen because that's what I think. Look, if we found a way to get Stephon Gilmore when we did, we can find a way to bring in Jalen Ramsey, especially with all the different tea leaves that are out and so many different connections that are out. And the fact, like, only thing we got to figure out is that daggone contract. And if Brant Tillis can figure that bad boy out, and they call him the brain, they don't call him the brain for no reason. Like, if he can figure that bad boy out, then we got a CP2 and we're good. And the fact that the reason
Is Jalen okay with being CB2?
I think he'll be. I think in any other team, I don't think he would be. But the fact that him and JC Horn have a relationship, they have the same agent, and also he knows that JC's one of them ones. I think so. And also the fact that in Evero's system, for what we know right now, JC doesn't travel. And now you know that in Evero's system that the wide receiver one may be on your side. So you consider CB2 on a roster, but you may be guarding wide receiver one for a percentage of the time because no one's going to travel. I think he'll be okay with it. But that's just my opinion.
Vashta, what the streets saying? I feel like you got some tea, bro. What the streets talking about, man? Look, you want to say something? I know you know something, Vashta. Come on, I know you know something.
I ain't got nothing for y'all now. I ain't got nothing.
Shot, she capping.
You know something. Bro, I could see the smirk.
Shot,
boy, you know something.
Thank
you gotta tell us.
I ain't got nothing for y'all,
you
man.
know something.
No.
Vashta, you ain't got to do it. You ain't got to do us like that. Okay,
what the streets
about? I don't have anything for y'all. I'm just trying to tell you, I got nothing.
You capping? You know you got something.
Like, that's why you gotta call me out like that?
I see it, bro. I'm looking eye to eye, Vash. I'm looking straight in your eyes. You know something. You know something. You gotta just blink twice. Just say something. Give me come on now.
Right. Cough if you know something.
Come on, stop. You know I'm battling over here.
Cough if you know something, Vashta.
Oh gosh.
Hey, Vashta, look.
I don't know nothing.
Okay, but here's the thing. Vashta be knowing stuff because do you remember that tea she dropped the other week? But you don't hear Shad? When she dropped tea around, like we were talking about we were shocked that kind of that T-Mac got picked, and she was like, "Oh, well, I heard, Dan Morgan say this, that, and the third."
I was there. I remember that. Yeah, she be knowing. It's okay. I get it. I respect the journalism. Yeah, I mean that's why I'm a fan. I don't get. That's why I don't want no sources because I be done said something. I be done snitched. I ain't gonna lie.
Vashta, blink if you already got your article written.
Y'all silly.
That article written. She ready to go send, publish.
Y'all silly.
Ramsey to Carolina. Oh man, look. I got
nothing.
I'm in the land of the Lulu. I'm here for it. I think it'll be a great option. And the reason I think it's going to happen, though, Vashta, I can't stop looking at Vashta shot. Thank you. The reason I think it potentially happened because we needed a safety, and everybody thought it was going to be Julian Blackmon. We let go of Clowney. We got $7 million, and they haven't done anything with that. And the thing is like, oh, the $7 million is for the rookies and all those different things, but nothing has happened with that. And I'm just like, are they really absorbing these funds to get ready for a splash? I don't know. I'm all for it. That's all I gotta say. One thing I want to talk about before we get into Panther OTA stuff is this conversation. And Shad, y'all talked about it on PNP on Monday around whether you were concerned or not about Nick Scorton signing his deal. And so I had to do some research, and I was like, yo, what's going on with Nick Scorton on all this? And a lot of people are starting to talk about it now, and it's very interesting that as of right now, as of right now, 30 out of 32 players in the second round have not signed a contract yet. And it's all because of what the Texans did with Jaden Higgins, with giving him a fully guaranteed contract. And this is the first time that a second round player has gotten a fully guaranteed contract. And before, he was pick number 34, not even 33. He was 34. And then the next day, Carson Schlesinger, the linebacker from UCLA, signed a fully guaranteed deal with the Browns. And so now all the holdup is with Nick Emmanwori and the Seattle Seahawks. And they're at a standstill of like, hey, who gonna jump first? Who gonna concede first? Is it gonna be the agent or is it gonna be the team? And they're waiting for the fully guaranteed deal. And if he signs, then the Browns are back up with Quishon Junkins to do that. And so everybody's waiting to see if how long or how far this fully guaranteed thing is gonna go. What are y'all thoughts on now this fully guaranteed option? I know this podcast, we talked about it before. We're always a player first type of podcast where we want the players to get their money, all those different things. But now at Nick's court at 51 is waiting. And in the past, we've always seen where each round is looking at what the other year did and basically either matching or trying to get close, if not surpassing what that pick of 2024 was doing. And now everyone's like, look, we're trying to get these guaranteed jobs. Do you feel like, my first question to you all, and I'll start with Shad, do you feel like the Texans mess up the game?
No, I don't think they messed the game up. I mean, this is just evolution, right? I think that this was bound to happen eventually. These players are starting to take control of these contracts, and they're not stupid, man. There's a lot of information out there, and so I think what's happening right now is it's very obvious. All these agents and players are holding out. They want that guaranteed money, and so I have no concern about scoring holding this small holdout. For the second round guys, I think it's just evolution. I think these guys want their guaranteed contracts. Somebody has to be the first to do it. And so that's just what happened. And now you're going to see all the rest of these guys hold out until they get a guaranteed contract. And as they should. I mean, if it's out there and somebody got it, hell, why can't I get it? So if it's my agent, if I got my agent on the phone, hey, look, bro, hey, we just going to wait to see what my other folks is doing, and we'll holler at you in a little bit. Just hold that thought. We're gonna train in the meantime, and we'll sign that deal when all the chips fall.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this, Vashta? Do you think it's just the new age is going to be the new thing, or do you think that?
Yeah, it only takes one team to kind of set the trend, which is why, and I think we talked about this before, which is why the NFL colluded in not making, when they did that contract for Deshaun Watson, they wanted to make sure that was not ever done
the
again.
Trend.
So I'm sure there are conversations being had behind closed doors about this and how it will affect teams going forward. But it takes one team to do it, and now everybody is going to want it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's real. And I was talking to Nashad Davis, friend of the show. He was the agent for Wasserman, and they're basically saying, like, he was like, as agents, it's a dog eat dog world. Like, everybody wants to be that top agent. They will try to take your clients, this and the third, and every agent's going to want their name up there that says certain player, the first time ever getting a fully guaranteed job in the second round. This deal was made by XXX. You know what I mean? So they definitely want their name there because that's going to attract more clients their way to say, like, hey, if you did it for him, you could do it for me. But at the end of the day, like, look, get y'all money. You know what I mean? So shout out to Nick Emmanwori for trying to get that fully guaranteed job. Fully guaranteed contract, excuse me. He's still out there training. He's not doing a Shamar Stewart and not out there practicing. Like, all the second round players are still out there on OTAs, but it's crazy that it's still a standstill. And I'm curious to see how long this is going to take. Very, very curious. But let's get into some OTA stuff. I know y'all didn't get a chance to go out there the second day, but what are from your perspective, let's start with Vashta first. From your perspective, what are the vibes like out there when you got the chance to see like all the players and got a chance to interview some of them? Bryce was doing his Bryce thing around, like, sometimes he always has little funny jokes around like what y'all do for Memorial Day weekend, like his personality is kind of showing. But what are the vibes like? Was there any players that kind of stood out to you out there outside of what we've seen on video from what you could record?
I mean, the vibes are always high during the off season for every team. So I want everybody to understand that because the game hasn't been played yet. All right. and nobody is lost, and but yeah, the vibes were cool. It was normal
Yeah.
stuff. um they did some 11 on 11 work. Of course, this is what phase 3, I guess.
Yeah.
So they're able to do that. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard for us to see as media because the guys will kind of kind of form this
Interesting.
shield, not on purpose,
Mm-hmm.
but they need to see too. So they're trying to look at the play evolve, and then we're media, we're back off of the field, and so we have a certain area where we can maneuver, but it's sometimes hard to see everything.
Yeah.
Um, but I know Bryce was picked off. Um, but it's really kind of hard to really get an idea for that without pads. That's why the first day of pads in training camp is such, it's like literally, all right, now football is starting,
Mm-hmm.
because now you have your offensive lines and your defensive lines go together. Like when they're in these shorts, it's like playing pickup ball at the Y.
Yeah.
It's not a true indication of what's going on. But yeah, the vibes were high. It was cool. I think that obviously offense has a lot more pieces who are already together, so you could see where there was a familiarity among the guys on offense, and I think the defensive guys are a lot of new pieces, so they're not as jovial, not as jokey as I might have seen from the offensive players, but that's really about it.
Yeah. Shock, a different question for you. As a fan, as someone who's been, you've paid attention to, you've talked about on PNP, you've talked about what you've seen in OTA so far, you've seen some of the press conferences. Is there anybody that's on the bubble for you? You're like, OTAs, yeah, training camp, they gotta really do something, or if not, they're gonna get cut.
Nah, it's too early for bubble talk per se. But I will say there's a couple battles that I'm looking for as far as tea leaves. Obviously, I'm not out there, so I don't have it's all secondhand knowledge from the reporters like Vashti and everybody else that's out there. But I really am intrigued on this wide receiver battle. I really got my ears to the streets trying to see what's going on, because I think some folks jobs could be on the line if a guy like Hunter Renfro is truly back. I'm not again. I haven't seen him, so I don't know what it's like. I don't know where he is, but if he is back to where he was prior to his his health scare, I mean, he was very good with LA with the Raiders. You know what I mean? So I think he could put somebody's job on the line. A guy like David Moore could slide out. You know what I mean? So it's just something like that. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the tight again. Tommy Tremble being injured was not ideal, but it does give an opportunity for Mitchell Evans, who I really like. That was a really big draft get for me. I like that pickup a lot, and so it's good to see him out there getting some solid reps with the ones and twos. So I'm happy. I like the way things are. I want to see that defense kind of come together, like Vashti was saying. They need to gel.
Yeah.
Got to see who that safety is. Are we going to bring another cornerback? Is
Jalen
Jalen
Ramsey.
Ramsey on the way? Wink, wink. You know what I mean? Let us. I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, hey,
Yeah,
Vasha,
that wide receiver that's gonna be
that's gonna be the
very
work.
interesting come training camp, because
Mm-hmm.
you still have guys like Coker. I think Jimmy Horn is gonna make the roster because
1,000%.
I
Yes,
mean you can't coach speed, and
boy,
that's
that's
one thing that the Panthers have been lacking. And he's gonna be your returner, I
yes,
think.
yes,
I
yes,
mean,
Agreed.
absolutely.
we heard the special teams coordinator talk the other day, and I've never heard him speak he seemed very excited about Jimmy Horn.
He
I'll put
did.
it like
He definitely did. I
so.
saw that.
So I was like, okay, like you like this guy. So how many wide receivers are they gonna keep? What, 6?
I think it's gonna be 6 this time. I think last time was 5. It started with 6, and then
No, I
Coker
think
got
we
dropped.
kept 7. We started with 7
Oh,
We
okay.
started with 7
Pardon
wide
me.
receivers, and then they dropped Coker, and then did some magic,
Yeah.
and then ended up with 6. But I don't know if that's going to happen this year. I can see a scenario where they keep 7, but I think 6 will be the number. And I think guys like David Moore kind of need to watch their back. Again, Hunter. It all depends on what Hunter Renfrow looks like, in my opinion.
Bro,
But Jimmy Horn, bro, Jimmy Horn's gonna be solid.
he's a
for
lock.
Sure.
He's a lock.
Making the roster.
One thing you said, you can't teach speed and you can't teach dog. You can't teach somebody to be a dog. And Jimmy Horn,
So you got who? You got Ted. You don't like Ted.
T-Mac.
T-Mac.
You got Xavier, locks.
Lock.
Thielen,
Lock.
lock. We're saying Horn, lock. I mean, I think everybody else kind of up in the air.
I think Coke's a lot.
I think Coke is a lot. Don't do that,
You
Vashti.
think Coker's a
Don't do
lot?
that.
I do.
Yes, he's a
You
lot.
know,
Don't do that, Vashti.
Here's the thing I gotta say
Don't
though.
do that.
Can we keep it a buck? Can we keep it a
He's
buck
a
real
lot.
quick? Can we keep it a buck real quick? Can we keep it a buck real quick? I love Coker.
Don't do that.
Look. I gotta keep it a buck. I gotta keep it a buck real quick. I love Coker. I love he's a great player.
But
he gotta
give
stay
us the but.
He gotta stay healthy.
Come on,
early, man.
He's got to stay healthy.
It's early.
I understand it's early, but this is like at the same. You're still an undrafted free agent. Yes, you did work, but you missed a lot of games last year because of that quad issue, and now it's a soft tissue issue. We don't know if it's hamstring. We know if it's quad, all this stuff. I'm not saying that he's not going to make the team, but he has to stay healthy, bro. I got to keep it a buck.
But he's not a lock shot.
I got to keep it a buck.
He's not a lock.
I got to keep it a buck. I have to keep it a buck, bro. I have to. And you know me. I love Coker.
He's the future, right? When you think about what Thielen is going to be next year, right? He's probably not going to be around.
Yeah.
You got even Hunter Renfrow, who's a little bit older. You got Dave Moore, who's older. Coke's the future, bro. You're not getting rid of Coker, bro. You're not. It's not happening.
I'm not saying that he is not a lock. I'm not saying that. But all I'm saying, my underlining theme.
He's a future what? I mean, he's a future
slot.
how?
He's a big slot.
He's a future slot.
He is exactly. He's a carbon copy of Thielen. He can do exactly what Thielen does in this offense. He's just younger.
Oh, is he a little taller?
He's an inch
big,
taller.
yeah, much bigger.
Okay.
He's
big, yeah. He's
thicker.
Yeah. I wasn't trying to say that, but I was trying to say tall. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It is what it is.
You good.
But all I'm saying is, I'm not saying that he's not a lot. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is he has to stay healthy, bro.
Okay, Vashti, talk through it. Who are you taking off?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
If you take off Coke, who are you putting in his place? Now, don't say he's not a lot.
Okay. So you said
T-Mac.
Okay, you said T-Mac. Okay, but let's try to get let's try to get to 6. Vashti, try to get to 6 because you only said 4.
You can't get to 6 and not have
those
Coke
are my locks. Those are my locks.
Okay, but who are your other two?
The other two are up in the air.
I think honestly,
the other two are up in the air.
We pod now.
We pod tonight. I love it. That's why I love it. We saying right here.
I think the other two are up in the air.
Here, look.
I don't know.
Look, we got about 100 people in here. Make sure y'all hit the like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe on the road to 500 subscribers. All right, so look, we got to get to 6 though, Vashti. But here's the thing.
I'm telling you who my locks are.
Coach Vashti Morgan, you the GM right now.
No,
you got to give us 6. We need 6, Vashti.
I got 4 locks. Everybody else is competing for a spot on the team, including Coker.
I do think Coker has to compete.
Coker outperformed your first round draft pick from last year,
but he's still a first round draft pick.
But he outperformed your first round pick from last year. Not a lot.
I named my lock
and everything. But he's not a lot. What are we doing? Listen, let me put my bias out there because all bias intended.
It's a lot of bias
out on the table. I go to bat for my guys. Coker is one of my guys. You know what I mean? So I'm putting my bias out there. But if I'm being unbiased, Coke would still be a lot.
But here's my thing. Here's my only thing. Do you agree that he has to stay healthy?
Oh yeah, that's anybody though. That's
true.
Anybody.
So you're saying everybody else is competing for that 6th spot.
Yeah.
So those 5 are locks.
Locked up. Akon. Convict.
Convict
Okay.
music. That's look. So look, I think David. I think David Moore's out of here.
It's gonna boil down to Hunter Renfro, David Moore, and the two undrafted guys, Kobe Hudson. I think those guys can ball too, bro. I don't want to.
Oh no. Yeah.
They're talented. The two undrafted guys we picked up,
Especially, I like
other
Kobe
name
Hudson.
escapes-
Kobe Hudson, Jacoby
Yeah,
George.
the other name escapes me. George. Yeah. Those guys can ball, bro. So I don't want to dismiss them, but I think it's gonna boil down to that last spot, and I can see us keeping 7. I kind of play around with the 53-man roster. I think with Trimble starting out on the pup, I think that could open up another spot. You could play with the defense a little bit. I think they're gonna need as many defensive guys as possible. So I don't see them taking a spot from over there. But I can see them. I can see a situation where they keep 7 wide receivers. I can see it. If it gets tight in that room,
If they
I can
keep
see
7, I like Coker to make it. I just don't think they're going to keep 7.
He's number 7. You put him at 7.
I'm not saying he's number 7.
All right, we tied.
I'm saying if they keep 7, then I'll add him to the lock.
You was trying to get my pressure up. You just trying to get my pressure up, bro.
She's trying to get you.
You just trying to get my pressure up.
Hey, look, all I'm saying is I need, like, at the end of the day, you like the best ability is availability, and I just want him to be healthy so he can showcase that he's been improving, right? Because all we've heard so far, I didn't even know that he was hurt until they said he was working on the sideline. I was like, yo, Coker hurt? But we've heard Canales say, like, there's a different look in Xavier's eyes. He looks big, he looks fast, he looks confident. He's this, he's that, he's this. And granted, he's been hurt, so we haven't heard anything, but I haven't heard anything about Coker yet in terms of, like, how he's looked. He's looked stronger. He's looked this and a third because he's been hurt. And I'm like, you know what it is about those soft tissue injuries. We've talked about this before with JC. With his soft tissue injuries, it's like, it's tough. And I don't want him to be a blue tent warrior. Like, he is good for our team. I said this last week on the pod. I went through the wide receiver room and who I thought was out of here and all those different things. And Jalen Coker has a top 3 hands on the team. Top 3. I don't know the order. You can go back and forth. He's top 3. You gotta stay on the field, bro. Especially with so much competition this year. So much competition.
No, I agree. I don't disagree with you. Help, you got to be available. Shout out to CMC. I was tough on him too because he was always out. So trust me.
Yeah.
If you're not on the field, I'm gonna drag you.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Coke is gonna be fine, bro. We're talking about a soft tissue injury right now, and we
it's still
OTAs,
early. Yeah, I understand.
It's extremely early. So, like, let's not. Yeah, I mean, what
I
what
think
are we
the
doing
only
here?
reason. Okay, so this is the only reason I'm bringing this up, and I was going to text you this after PNP on. I was going to text you this shot. I was like, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it because if this was his first injury in soft tissue, all right, cool. But the quad, he was out for what, 4 weeks?
All right, y'all gonna make me pick the phone up. Do we want to know what's going on?
No. Leave him alone. Let him lock in. Let him lock in. Nah,
All
let him
right.
lock in.
Come on, man.
Let him
Like,
lock
what are we
in.
doing,
I mean, I know
man?
you want to
Pick up
showcase.
the phone then, because he ain't out there. Pick up the phone. Call him up.
Call him.
Call him up. We want to know.
Come on, put him on right now. Come on, dude. Hit it like the streamers.
You going to be available for mini camp? What we doing?
Bro, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? Coke's gonna be fine, bro. Coke boys up, man. We good. We good, man. We good.
Oh boy.
I'll let y'all know when it's time to panic. But right now, Coke is a lock. We locked in.
Okay, I think Hunter Renfro. I think he might make the team if he is healthy and he does his thing. I think he's gonna make the team. I think he'll make the team. I think David Moore, cousin, you out of here, brother. I'm sorry. I think his time is up.
Teams, though, like
David Moore does play special teams.
But okay, can play special teams is one thing, bro. Is he effective? No. Let's keep it a buck, bro. What are we doing?
Oh boy, dang!
It's the
David
truth.
Moore
Hey, but here's the thing, David. Okay, but look, you gotta.
It's the
I gotta
truth.
give him respect. He did his thing. He was somewhat reliable last year. He did all right for what he had to do.
Yes,
He
he
did all
can
right.
feel the punt and he can feel kicks. Congratulations.
I'm not even talking about special teams. I'm talking about on offense in general. Like he was okay. He was okay.
Bro, he had a
But
lot of
we got. I said this.
come
I
on, bro.
said this. I said, listen. Let me cook,
All
shot. Let me cook.
right. My
Let me
bad, man.
cook.
Cause my fault. My fault. I'm gonna mute up. I'm about to mute, man. My bad. Cause we just
Hey yo, he's still mad about Coke. He like, y'all gonna talk about my boy. You know, so he said, call him up. Text him right now. Put it on speakerphone.
Shoot,
Star 670 it. Whatever you gotta do. Call him up. No, what I'm saying is like I think as Panthers fans sometimes, I said this one time before of like we Panthers fans, there's two toxic traits that Panthers fans have at times. One is we're like we're acting like we're stuck in a desert, dying of thirst, and then somebody brings a bottle of Dasani water, ice cold. You like, it's Dasani, I don't want it. And it's like, bro, we were been trashed. You better be grateful for whatever we can get. And then the other toxic trait is we hold on to mid players. Oh well, no, David Moore, no, but he did it. Like we're holding on to mid when there's better, right? And if you look at Hunter Renfrow and David Moore, Hunter Renfrow's better. He's just better all around, better route runner, better hands, all those different things. And everybody's just
Yeah,
like,
but he's been out of the game for
he's
an
been out of the
entire
game.
season.
What 2 years, 2 seasons? I think it's been 2
Yeah,
seasons.
bro, you're not just coming back and you just
I get
yeah.
that. I get that. I totally understand that. And but I said that doesn't make David Moore a lock for me. But I get that
Doesn't
piece.
make Hooker a lock either.
look. Let me mute up, man.
Oh boy.
Call him
I
up.
just messing. I just hope he's there June 10th through the 12th.
Yeah, no, we need that. So are y'all invited to the other OTAs? Like the one on I think it's one
We'll be
tomorrow,
back
right?
on Tuesday.
Okay.
No, we're only doing 2 of them.
Okay.
So we'll be back Tuesday. The same thing, and I think that's it for
Yeah.
OTAs, and then mandatory mini camp is June 10th through the 12th.
One thing I want to say before we close too. Panthers media, like we talked about this before around like Panthers social media team and everything. I'm gonna need y'all to like really put y'all eyes on some of the videos y'all posting because it's been one instance was another reporter, but another instance was like getting Joe Gilbert's reactions to some of these players. Because it's been one instance where Joe Gilbert got on Chandler Zavala and he was pissed off.
Sure
And then the Panthers posted yesterday, Joe Gilbert he was shaking his head in utter disgust at Josh Nijman. Did you see
He
that?
tough though. He tough. He is your quintessential offensive line coach,
I
and
love
I
it.
bet
I
he can
love it.
drink like a fish. But he curses them all out.
Okay, that's good to know. I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But what I saw, like the disgust he had was like, "You're cut, son." Like it was that shake his hand, like this guy is horrible. And I was like, "Yo, like you gotta be careful. You gotta know when to like edit that video so nobody comes out with stories like I'm doing." But I thought it was interesting to see that. But Joe Gilbert seems like that type. Like he looked like he'll get into you. Pause. But yeah. I saw it and I was like, yo, y'all gotta be careful what y'all posting. But if you say he does that on a day-to-day, then it is what it is. Cool. All right. Well, that's all we got for tonight. Look, it's been fun. Make sure y'all continue to subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're on the road to 500 subscribers. It is up. Also, I've been in talks with a venue for a live show for training camp. So Shad, Vashta, I'll be hitting y'all line, figuring out dates, what works. But it's the same spot. They said they would love to have us back. So they said just let us know what dates we want, and we can pull back up. So whatever time works for y'all for a live during training camp, let me know, and then we can get in touch with Preston and figure everything out. Shot.
Yep.
But yeah, they're excited for the live. We'll figure that piece out. So make sure y'all get prepared for that. Whether you're in town or not, y'all pull up on us. It's gonna be a vibe. It's gonna be fun. We'll make it a good time. Also, like I said, we're on the road to 500. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. It's been real. Vashti, Shada, I appreciate y'all as always. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.